It's 2021, and at this point, Street Fighter V has been out for 5 years, give or take. It's receiving its final season of content, and a sequel appears to be on the horizon. So what's it like to enter its highly competitive scene in this environment? Is it populated mostly by veterans who will absolutely destroy you? Or is there still a healthy player base of beginners? Well, here's what I learned on my journey through the ranks. For a little bit of background, I'm not unfamiliar with fighting games. I have played plenty casually, and I got semi-serious about Dragon Ball FighterZ for a little bit there. But Street Fighter is a different beast entirely. The unique combo timing and ground-based neutral game were very foreign concepts to me. I'd played it a bit on launch in 2016, but I left due to not really understanding the game and a lack of content. Credit to Capcom though. They've really improved the game immensely since then. The new content and mechanics they've added have been really stellar. Street Fighter is in a great spot, and the community is the happiest it's been with the game in a long while. But what is it like to actually rank up? Well, the good news is that, according to these charts from esportstales.com, more than half of the players are in Rookie or Bronze. These numbers do include inactive users, but the player base seems to be healthy. It's anecdotal, but my friends and I have never had much of an issue finding matches. That being said, we're all in the United States, so your results may vary based on your location. It does help that Street Fighter V features crossplay between PS4 and PC. The first ranks, Rookie and Bronze, are basically the same rank as it pertains to skill. Generally speaking, the players in this rank have subpar fundamentals and are making poor risk-reward decisions. You may run into the odd person that knows a combo or two, but that just means they've learned different stuff compared to you. Your overall game knowledge is most likely similar. And I don't mean any of this as admonishment. They're learning. You have to crack some eggs to make an omelet after all. But mistakes are mistakes, and you can rise through these ranks pretty quickly by taking advantage of them. These players will constantly whiff heavy buttons, leaving them vulnerable. They'll sweep frequently, allowing you to counter sweep or even get a bigger punish depending on your spacing. Because of this, I highly recommend learning a small punish combo, or at the very least, pressing your fastest button so that you can take advantage of these situations. Throws are also incredibly powerful in this rank because people don't really know how to deal with them. There is a technique that can help you with this, however, called delay teching. Teching is when you press throw as your opponent is attempting to throw you. The throws cancel each other out and the two players are pushed away from each other. Delay teching is when you slightly delay pressing throw in situations where you would have to defend against either an attack or a throw, but you're not sure of which. This allows you to cover both options. Basically, if your opponent presses an attack button, you will block and the tech won't come out because you're still in block stun. But if your opponent opts to throw you, the tech will come out just in time to cancel the throw, leaving you safe. To practice, set up a dummy in training mode. Set the dummy to attack on one recording, and set another recording of the dummy throwing. Practice the timing of blocking when pressing throw so that you aren't hit by either option. Master this and you will seem like a brick wall to the other players in Bronze. But by far the biggest issue I see people in Bronze make is jumping in far too frequently. Seriously, if you learn to anti-air consistently, you'll be out of Bronze in no time flat. Just playing a bit more slowly and reactive will yield marvelous results. At this rank, your opponents will hang themselves. You just need to supply the rope. Moving up in the ranks, most of the tips that apply to Bronze still apply to Silver, to a lesser extent. Anti-airing will get you far, but don't be surprised if the opponent starts to adapt. Players will often overextend, or they'll start pressure that only really works if you stop blocking after the first couple of hits. This can be defeated by simply taking a breather and continuing to block. Don't mash. Afterwards, the opponent will be highly vulnerable to a good punish combo. Silver players have a rough idea of their character's range, but it's not refined. If you brush up on where your character's moves are effective, especially long-range pokes, you can really go to town on the other player. Start paying attention to resources. If the opponent has a bar of meter and you're approaching on wake up, do they have any option to allow them to wake up with an invincible move? Begin to factor that sort of thing into your risk-reward decision making. One small resource management tip that I found had great success is seeing if V-trigger is activated or not in situations where you could kill off chip damage. It may sound like a situation that doesn't come up a ton, but players in these ranks are making lots of mistakes and getting lots of non-optimal punishes. This leads to rounds that come down to very small life leads with lots of meter buildup. If you initiate a block string and cancel into super, your opponent's only real option is to V-reversal. But if they're in V-trigger, they can't, and you've locked down the win. Gold can be tough. It felt to me like the biggest increase in player skill between ranks. An Ultra Gold player will beat an Ultra Silver player 9 times out of 10, but I'm not certain the same could be said for an Ultra Silver versus an Ultra Bronze. What helped me get through Gold was having a well thought out offensive game plan. While Capcom has added in defensive options like V-Shift, Street Fighter V is still predominantly an offensive oriented game. Keeping the pressure up is critical, but that doesn't mean overextending. Knowing when you're safe to pressure is pivotal. Particularly for me, I had to work on this. My wake-up pressure was terrible. Far too often, I would get a knockdown and dash in to be ready to hit my opponent when they wake up, only to find that the dash left me vulnerable to attack. However, the biggest hurdle I encountered in my entire time of playing manifested itself in Gold, but I think it's relevant to all of the ranks and probably all competitive games. That problem was tilting. Historically, I'm not a player that gets too angry or upset at losses. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, if someone beat me, I would rematch them until one of us had to leave. Points be damned. There were things to learn there. But in making this video, I have found myself tilting for the first time. I would go on these huge loss streaks, going from Ultra Gold, slipping back into Silver. Was I no longer an Ultra Gold player? Did I lose that knowledge and skill? No, of course not. But I got into my own head, and I made it very difficult to focus or play right. This was probably my lowest moment. I was on a huge loss streak, just absolutely draining my points. And who do I run into? AEW professional wrestler Kenny Omega. I joked with friends about running into him in ranked because I knew he was in the same bracket as me, but now it was happening. What should have been a fun and cool experience was actually miserable. I was mentally a wreck. He destroyed me this set. Afterwards, I decided to take a break and assess what my issue really was. Why am I getting so mad all of a sudden? The answer I found was that my goals were setting me up for failure. In making this video, I had made my goal when I play to rank up. I had to rank up. The video demands it. In doing so, I put so much extra emphasis on the points. Not what I learned in the games, not making sure the stuff I practiced was being executed in the match, just the points. After realizing this, I adjusted my goals. I set up to learn better wake-up pressure. As I had mentioned previously, it was a weak point for me. This allowed me to grade my online matches on a scale. Sure, I lost the match, but I did a great job of applying what I learned in training mode. This helped immensely. I found myself enjoying my time with the game again and not getting so upset at the losses. I quickly started winning again too, in part because of what I learned in training mode, but I do truly believe the bulk of it was because of my improved mental outlook. Soon I started amassing win streaks and draining other people's points. And then it happened, the rematch. I had once again encountered Kenny Omega, but this time I'm in a much better mood and I'm certainly a better player overall. He's in for it. And he still won. 2-1 was the final match count. I wasn't upset this time though. I was disappointed, of course, but I wasn't angry. I played this set so much better than the last. I took a game this time. The improvements were tangible. That's my biggest piece of advice to anyone playing any competitive game, really. If you find yourself getting angry at the losses, getting frustrated with ranked mode, take a step back and set some actionable learning goals. Rate your matches based on how well you accomplish those goals in game. And remember, most of all, your skill determines your rank, not the other way around. Your value as a player is not determined by the little symbol next to your name. This helped me greatly. I hope it can help you too. As of making this video, I am currently Platinum rank in Street Fighter V. I intend to continue on to Diamond. I'm sure the journey will be quite difficult. People are starting to get pretty good at this game. If you'd like to see a video about my journey from Platinum to Diamond, let me know in the comments below. And for more news, reviews, and all things video game, head on over to Destructoid.com. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.